dreams come true. So I know that Adam Schefter has long wanted to be an NBA analyst. He's wanted to talk about basketball.
You like that?
And so we're going to do it. We're going to do something called Shefty Says. And Windman, you're going to sort of gauge how we do. All right? So let's start with this. We got Kevin Durant. He turned down a trade last year, or during this year, to go back to Golden State. Where do you think KD should finish his career?
Well, you waved your fingers, and I'm sitting next to Windy, and when I think of Windy, I think of the Utah Jazz. So I just want to see Windy talk about KD, saying there's something going on with KD going to the Utah Jazz. Now, it doesn't make a lot of sense. He wouldn't play there anybody else. They're not playing anybody on that damn team anyway. They sit out every player every night, so KD could take the rest of the season up. But Windy could say there's something going on in Utah.
They do have a lot of cap space next summer.
Where is KD going to wind up?
Another small market team to watch. Minnesota Timberwolves, which Ant Edwards and KD, very tight connection, also from the Olympics. The Timberwolves tried to pull off a crazy trade at the deadline for KD. Look for them to revisit those talks this summer.
Okay, I like that. And look, there would be something poetic about him going back to OKC as well if somehow that wound up working out. Okay, here's the next one for you, Shefty. The Warriors are right now riding the Butler bump, right? They've been playing so well since they got Jimmy. Can they ride it all the way to the NBA Finals?
Well, the Butler bump, as good as it might be right now, becomes even more accentuated in the postseason. That's when the Butler bump becomes Jimmy Buckets, and he becomes more clutch than anybody. His game elevates in the postseason. So if they're playing well now, there's no reason they can't. Now, that conference is loaded, and there are so many superpower teams and so many star players that it becomes increasingly difficult. But Jimmy Butler has had the Butler bump. They've had the Butler bump, and it's going to be accentuated.
Playoff Jimmy.
9-1 since Butler has gotten there. They play in Brooklyn tonight. Great opportunity to go 10-1, then a 7-game homestand. They need to move up. If they playoffs froze today, they'd be looking at possibly even seeing the Lakers in the first round, then maybe the Nuggets, or vice versa. Nuggets first round, Lakers second round, then having to beat the Thunder. That's not a recipe for advancing. If they could get to 5 and maybe go up against Memphis, a team that's hurting a little bit and also has a big rivalry with them, that would be interesting.
But here's the thing. Once you get rolling in the postseason, sometimes it doesn't even matter who you play.
True, but the Western Conference is a beast.
Well, you said that.
All right, one more for you here. Here's the question, Shefty. Are LeBron James and Luka Doncic right now the best duo in the entire NBA?
Listen, there are some incredible duos out there. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Right.
Giannis and Dame Time in Milwaukee. I would say SGA and Chet Holmgren or Jalen Williams or anybody, because SGA is that good. But we're talking about 2 Hall of Fame players.
Right.
2 of them together. So, yes, they're the best duo right now.
So they are in the conversation right now, but I'm telling you, you've only seen Luka maybe 70, 75%. Luka getting back to himself by the end of the season, this could become a clear answer.
Well, I mean, the thinking was, well, they're not going to be that good because LeBron is past his. Well, LeBron's not past anything, right? I mean, LeBron all of a sudden has found the fountain of youth. Its name is Luka Doncic, and all of a sudden the Laker fans, like my big fella here, Damian Woody, are looking at this thing and seeing the possibilities of what could be this spring. It could be one of the great ones. Are they the best duo in the sport right now?
Man, I don't want to disrespect Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown because they're the champs. They're the defending champs. They show you night in and night out. But come on, Luka? Luka is the top 5 player in the world right now, in my opinion. Then the way LeBron James has been playing, I can make the case he's playing like a top 5 player. And I think Wendy brings up a great point. Luka's not all the way healthy right now. When Luka gets 100%.
Or acclimated to his new teammates and city.
He's just warming up.
I'm beside myself right now. As a Laker fan, I still can't wrap my mind around we have Luka Doncic.
Here's the case. One thing that those guys both do, they make their teammates better.
High IQ players.
So, when they don't do that Mark Williams trade, we're like, they don't have a center. Jackson Hayes had 19 points in the first half on Tuesday night because those guys are throwing them lobs.
Also a revenge game against the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct.
Look at Shefty.
That's
Look how about Shefty just rolling.
Come on over. That's the thing. Like, they elevate their team. Not saying that Tatum and Brown don't, but that's one thing they specialize in.
It is just as an aside, because this is not the topic that we want to do here, but just as an aside, the more you watch Luka on the Lakers, the more unfathomable it is that they traded him. Right? I mean, the more just unimaginable. And I know that things have fallen apart so horribly in Dallas, and part of that is just bad luck that Kyrie got hurt. It's not really bad luck that Anthony Davis gets hurt, because that is kind of his MO. But the fact that the Maverick season has gone the way it has gone, and Luka, who just turned 26, last week or whatever it was, is looking the way he is, the more unimaginable that trade becomes.
Everybody saw this, though.
Yeah.
Everybody saw
Not
this.
everybody. Nico Harrison obviously didn't see it.
Their belief
the
is
ownership
over the
in
next,
Dallas didn't see it.
Their belief is that over the next 4 or 5 years, the Dallas, not me, Dallas thinks that Luka will go down. Nobody shared that belief, and certainly nobody thought the die was cast on that at age 25. And now, what the problem is that Dallas said, okay, we're going to trade what we think is a potentially declining player for the next 2 or 3 years where we think we can maybe win.
26.
I
You're
know,
going to
I
bet
know,
that
Shefty.
that guy's going to decline?
I would say
Really?
this also about that duo. What I love about it is it doesn't matter how great your defense is. Those guys can still make the right play and get buckets when they want to. Also, their ability to get to the free throw line is unbelievable to me.
And Luka's playoff history is extraordinarily good. He carried 2 teams, one to a Western Conference final and one last year to the NBA Finals, that were definitively not, if you just look at the man
They
for
were the
man,
lower
pound for
seed. They were the
pound.
5 seed last year, and they went to the finals.
Yeah, so I mean, Luka has a history of carrying lesser teams than this an awfully long way. But the storyline here is LeBron James finding the fountain of youth, turned 40 in December, and he's been brilliant since then. And I want to do a special one-off edition of D's Notes, because I just want to point out what it is that LeBron is chasing. So we were talking yesterday about the greatest 40-plus-year-old athletes that we've seen in American sports history. We're limiting it to team sports for this. And a great job by our staff. Tom Brady, these numbers are so ridiculous. I said, we just need to put these up on television. Can you put that up again, Cindy? I'm sorry, because I didn't get to read it.
He had a Hall of Fame career in his 40s alone. Forget about his 20s and 30s.
If Tom Brady had just started his career when he turned 40 years old, he'd be in the Hall of Fame. He had 6 4,000-yard seasons, won 2 Super Bowls, an MVP and a Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes and Peyton Manning are the only other quarterbacks ever to do all of those things in their careers. Brady did them just starting with the time he turned 40. So if we're sitting here thinking, what is LeBron? How can LeBron become the greatest over 40 athlete of all time? That's the benchmark. It's a long way to go.
One of the best full-screen graphics I've seen on
I've
the
ever
show.
seen, right? Incredible.
I mean, it really, if you're going to have a debate about it, it really kind of
It ends the debate.
It stops you.
There is no debate, but it does actually beget a question. We have talked about LeBron James like, well, it's year to year. Well, any minute now it could be over. Well, all of a sudden he's the player of the month and he looks rejuvenated and he's not being asked to carry the same load offensively. And his son is on the team and Luka is on the team. Do we think now, do we have reason to believe that LeBron James could be looking at another 2 or 3 really good